I remember seeing this tweet from Chibi Reviews. Anyone else notice the lack of the panty shot trope in anime nowadays? Feels like certain tropes like Dorito slip and fall had been phased out over the years too. You used to see it all the time, but not anymore. And when I read this, I said, man, I thought I was the only one that noticed this and glad I'm not just overthinking it. Yes, the pantsuit shot has become an endangered species of a trope. And I'm not talking about a shot where the girl is in lingerie, nightwear, or at the beach in a bikini, but the classic shot where there's a slip and fall, the wind is blowing, or when the character is running and the skirt just happens to fly up accidentally. That's the classic fan service trope I'm referring to. There's so many times now when I watch an anime, there's an easy layup to give this classic shot, but it seems there's this reluctance to hold back. Like the camera will rise up but stop just below the reveal, or you'll see a dark shadow that's intentionally placed there to cover it. And I know you'll say, but wait, I recently just watched a current anime that has that. And yes, I have too. Ratari-kun's is about to collapse has 2 or more of those. But my point is, there was a time when this trope was commonplace versus now when it's kinda rare. And I think a lot of this has to do with the constant push to problematize anime and its tropes, the conversation being hijacked, taken control by non-fans, the hall monitors, fun police, those who masquerade as fans but are anything but, especially when it comes to journalists. There was recently a survey done by the BBFC Ofcom to gather opinions on anime and its fan service, and here's some of the consensus that was gathered. Fan service divides UK audiences but is generally viewed as an aggravating factor. Gratuitous sexualization of characters is frequently judged as warranting a higher classification even by some anime fans. The BBFC will continue to consider such images of characters as indicative of higher age ratings when classifying content on the borderline between 2 categories. And stuff like this is why I wish anime was still niche. Too much attention brings this type of scrutiny that discourages something from being the thing what made fans love it in the first place. It reminds me of that scene from American Gangster where Frank Lucas wears a fur coat to a boxing match, nearly front row seats, and by doing this he has caught the attention of some corrupt cops and is now forced to pay a quiet stay off my back tax because of it. And out of frustration he throws the fur into the fire, now unable to move with freedom, and has met an obstacle in how he operates. Bad faith actors are similar, now trying to get their dirty hands into it to use the popularity of anime as a tool for their own gain. Articles like this: 10 anime that get fan service right. Fan service is one of the most overused elements in anime. I mean, this statement alone proves my point. With a multitude of series premiering each season that feature sexualized, scantily clad characters and tend to turn off viewers with risque scenes that feel disconnected from the main story. And in doing this, they try to present themselves as experts, creating an arbitrary standard of when it's appropriate to use fan service, but no matter what, they'll always move the goalposts, when in truth, there is no wrong way. It's justified whenever the author damn well pleases it. Gachiakuda episode 12 is burdened by its fan service. Gachiakuda episode 12 had way too much fan service for anyone's comfort. Amo was constantly shown in questionable positions and her clothes are almost never in place. There are shots that focus on making Amo look as sexually desirable as possible. These shots are simply uncomfortable to watch. The scene in which Amo is dangling from Tomsi's, hope I'm pronouncing that right, ropes with her underwear on full display and her chest about to burst out of her clothes felt completely unnecessary. If you don't like it, don't watch it. But anyway, to that I say, welcome to what fan service is. Sometimes that's part of the humor of it, is that it comes out of nowhere, unexpected, almost like the author is giving a nod to the reader or viewer like, you're welcome, and the author being a woman in this case, which would completely defeat their narrative. Articles that express how certain anime tropes need to die, including harems, which, quick side note, shout out to Espiritu for his tweet that recently went viral, calling out someone trying to label Dandadan a polycule instead of a harem, because I guess this is now the next trope that's under attack from tourist or activist-minded people trying to shift the framing of a story and its characters to justify their reason for watching an anime, despite that it may go against their politically correct held beliefs, because God forbid a guy just be the man attracting the desire of many women at once. Shout out to Okarun, but continuing. 10 grade anime you can't recommend without being a creep, mentioning elements that all revolve around fan service or harems like Damachi, High School DxD, or Dandadan, which even this journalist recognizes. Which, if you're recommending an anime and you're worried about that means you're not talking with an anime fan, just heads up. Which is why gatekeeping is so heavily discussed nowadays, which, another quick side note, much respect to the Blue Archive fandom. They have shown and proven it can be done. That no matter how popular an outsider is, the voices of the true fans added up can easily outpower even the most popular of streamers, where the creator of said property will be compelled to respond appropriately, which they have. I'm still kind of in awe how they even managed to accomplish that, and honestly, it's kind of inspiring, and all other fandoms need to take notes ASAP. But despite all of these journalists, non-fans, and tourists who want to rid anime of what it is, there's one current anime that unapologetically embraces the classic panty shot trope. Tojima wants to be Kamen Rider, with the character Yuriko just the waifu of the season, or at least mine with the heaviest of the heavy. Shout out to my most recent waifu tier list. She had to make the cut, and a character who proudly displays that wagon and thick thighs in full form.
あれは実に堂々としていて素晴らしい。タックルの戦闘は特撮ヒロインの中でもめちゃめちゃパンチラしていくスタイルよ。私もパンチラしていくわ。
And it's just refreshing to have not just an anime, but a current one that's also pretty popular and getting love this season. And instead of shying away from it, they embrace this trope head on with no regards for the fun police. And hopefully they can lead by example, showing that animators, Japanese studios can still include this in their adaptations instead of censoring it out. And true fans will respond with reward, versus people like this who say, why I don't watch much retro animes, which does indicate this is a past trope that's not as common anymore. And they're reacting to a scene from a vintage anime named Devil Circuit, and these are the type of people that should be given no regard and might as well wear a sign on their forehead that says, gatekeep me out of your hobbies, I have no respect for the medium and what came before me.
Get the fuck out!
But that's all I have for this video. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. I already know there's going to be those who call me a gooner,
Pervy Sage,
etc. But it is what it is. I like anime baddies and fan service that do them justice. But truthfully, even beyond that, it's more the principle of it all. I don't want creators of all types to be guilt-tripped into hindering their stories, their art, or characters just to appease those who get their panties in a bunch, no pun intended. Anytime the feminine physique is on display, especially with fiction, creators should know their audience and serve them, learning to discern between outsiders and the true fans. There's always going to be reward found in that with longevity. Don't cater to those who will be here today and gone tomorrow, regardless of how they'll convince you. Also, if you haven't checked out my music, links in the description. If you love those samurai shampoo lo-fi mellow boom bap vibes, then my music is definitely for you. And if you want to support me and the content I create, consider joining my channel, becoming a member. It's much appreciated. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Free think. Peace.